Arthur the rat. Once there was a young rat named Arthur who could never make up his mind. Whenever his friends asked him if he would like to go out with them, he would only answer, "I don't know." He wouldn't say yes or no either. He would always shirk making a choice. His Aunt Helen said to him, "Now look here, no one is going to care for you if you carry on like this. You have no more mind than a blade of grass." One rainy day, the rats heard a great noise in the loft. The pine rafters were all rotten, so that the barn was rather unsafe. At last the joists gave way and fell to the ground. The walls shook, and all the rats' hair stood on end with fear and horror. "This won't do," said the captain. "I'll send out scouts to search for a new home." Within 5 hours, the 10 scouts came back and said, "We found a stone house where there is room and board for us all. There is a kindly horse named Nellie, a cow, a calf, and a garden with an elm tree." The rats crawled out of their little houses and stood on the floor in a long line. Just then, the old one saw Arthur. "Stop," he ordered coarsely. "You are coming, of course." "I'm not certain," said Arthur, undaunted. "The roof may not come down yet." "Well," said the angry old rat, "we can't wait for you to join us. Right, about face, march." Arthur stood and watched them hurry away. "I think I'll go tomorrow," he calmly said to himself. "But then again, I don't know. It's so nice and snug here." That night there was a big crash. In the morning some men, with some boys and girls, rode up and looked at the barn. One of them moved aboard, and he saw a young rat quite dead, half in and half out of his hole. Thus the shirker got his due. Kit. The quick little kitten thinks it bit a pretty big fish. Dress. Many of Jeff's best friends slept in mesh tents in pleasant weather. Trap. The harrowing black cat dashes at any man and lands on the plaid carriage. Lot. The honest swan stops and acknowledges the fox dodging the bothered wasp. Strut. Mother loves butter that comes from the southern countryside. Foot. The butcher should put the pudding in the wooden nook to cook. Bath. Can't half the staff asked to transfer to the enchanted castle in France. Cloth. Lawrence often offers Ross a Florida orange and horribly strong frothy Boston coffee. Nurse. The early bird preferred the earthy worm. Fleece. These unique machines teach people to speak and reason. Face. The raven waits until day for the great wave to break. Palm. Father and Ma said to calm the facade in the Nevada Plaza. Thought. The small walrus caught the hawk in the salty water. Goat. The rose slowly grows in Owen's old grove. Goose. Beautiful music booms and humans move to the groove. Price. The shy writer types at night to fight the silence in my mind. Choice. The spoiled boy hoists the toy from the soil. Mouth. Mountains of flowers crowd the grounds about the house. Near. Deirdre's fear seriously interferes with her ideal career. Square. Beware of scarce fairies, rare mares, and scary prairie bears. Start. The Sahara Party marvels at the far star on the safari. North. Laura's warm aura reforms Thor's horse for the important war. Force. The adorable boar snores hoarsely and notoriously hoards imported pork. Cure. The tourist endures rural tours of Europe and procures gourmet bourbon. Happy. The coffee, salami, spaghetti and macaroni are ready. Letter. Sugar covers the tiger's whiskers. Comma. Bertha's and Cinderella's saga is a drama. R. Richard, Wilbur and Harry are running around the treacherous river. L. Linda and Ali pull belly muscles laughing laboriously. NG. The singing mockingbird is swinging on the ring and dings the awning. TH. The thespians gather and breathe 3 authentic breaths together. H. Harry and Hilary happily harvest heaps of herbs behind the beehive. YOD, the cute, dutiful blue cuckoo resumes cooing suitable tunes enthusiastically. W, Will and Drew whistle when the wind blows between the whimsical weeping willows. ING, Ms. Fanning is walking and hiking in Wyoming. S, Susie lives in her sister's house on Easy Street with her Siamese cats and Siberian husky dogs. They call Santiago Santiagua because it rains so much here. And in the wintertime, there can be 30 days of rain all day, every day. So I have to tell you that I've taken to going to the Costa del Sol in the wintertime. So the pilgrim numbers drop off after the feast of Our Lady of Pilar, which is the 12th of October. And at that point, I go to Malaga. And I come back to play the organ here for Christmas time, and up to the Feast of the Kings on the 6th of January. And after the Feast of the Kings, you'll find me back on the Costa del Sol, where I need to turn on the air conditioning at some points. But you don't have to do that in Santiago. I used to play in the cathedral on a Sunday evening, but that all became too much. I was playing in Coruña in the morning and the cathedral on the Sunday evening, so I gave that up. And I now play in the Jesuit Basilica of St. Augustine, San Agustin, on both a Saturday and a Sunday. And I'll be playing there on the Feast of St. James, yes. I'm sure there are some pilgrims who walk the Camino and it was simply a hike and they walk away completely indifferent to the experience. I have never met any of them. I admit that they might exist, but I've never met any of them. It's a life-changing experience for most people. And that's been the experience of my life and certainly what I've witnessed in other people. And of course, people walk the Camino for all sorts of different reasons. And I've met so many over the years, the 15 years since 2007. And I think I've now got 55 Compostelas. So I've walked a lot myself. So I've met a lot of pilgrims. And some of them stand out in my mind, the most touching stories. You know, I was thinking, because I knew you were coming, I was thinking of a French couple that I met, and I think his name was Jean, her name was Amélie, a middle-aged couple, and we walked together, and we were in the restaurant that night having a pilgrim's menu, and we were doing all the usual conversation of talking about how are your blisters, and discussing how you treat blisters, and blisters, blisters, blisters. Every pilgrim talks about blisters and their feet. Anyway, they said to me, "Why are you doing this, John?" And I said, well, I wanted to change my way of life. And I told them the story about seeing the map and the seed had been planted. And I said, why are you doing it? Well, the atmosphere completely changed. And Amélie reached out and she took his hand as if to say, shall we tell him? They had a daughter who was born on the Feast of St. James, the 25th of July. And they called her Jacqueline, after Saint Jacques, after St. James. Well, she died of cancer at the age of 11. And they decided that they were going to walk Caminos in her memory. And they said, and this is the 11th. And as Amélie said that, a tear just trickled down her cheek. She squeezed his hand and she said, and it's now time to stop. And I just thought, whoa.